Okay, what I should have put in here actually should have been the algebraic solution, so you can see that first, but I didn't do that, unfortunately, and I don't have it in front of me. If you have your handout that I gave you in class the other day with the table, you should have the algebraic formulation. Pull that out. So you can see it. And if you don't have that in front of you, look off to someone's who did, so you can see where everything goes. So why I didn't do this earlier with you, it was not on the schedule for until today, but the table that I gave you. Or you can have the graphical solution, right? The graphical solution page has it on, like, the algebraic stuff is right up front. So take a look at that. So my concern was, if you go to Excel, if you go look in the book, it looks like they just have numbers there. They took that window problem and they put numbers in there. The numbers just go up on the spreadsheet, and it's unclear where they're getting that from. The algebraic stuff comes first. So I'm not lying to you. If you don't have that algebraic formulation step down, everything's a hot mess after it. So you have to be able to get that algebraic formulation down, and you have to increase your speed. Otherwise, you're not going to get through those problems on the WPR fast enough. So that comes first. Once I have that solution, this is the makeup that they have. I used exactly the same cells that are in your book. So I'm going to go through how you can type in those formulas yourself on this, in this example here, so that when you are doing it yourself with Solver, you're going to use a tool called Solver to actually solve these things. So it's going to do all those calculations that you did manually automatically, right? Making the feasible region, it will do all of that. So we're heading towards that. I might make a video of how to use Solver next so that you have that piece down. I don't have that today. Today, I just want to show you where everything comes from. So over here, I made up this problem, the desks and the bookshelves, but this is the unit profit. So in your table, I have this per unit thing that you circle. That's the 30 and the 40 that came from how much profit you get from selling one desk and selling one bookshelf. That's what goes into this unit profit piece. And this is for this example only. If it's a cost example, it's going to be completely different. It's going to be a little bit different. It won't be exactly the same. So the next thing is that in this problem, they had two types of constraints given to you by the numbers, 300 and 20,000. 300 was a cap on the amount of desks that you can produce, or the total amount of units that you can produce, and 20,000 was a budget constraint, like your cost should not go over 20,000. Remember that? Really?
Yes.
All right. This is why you can't remember where you left your cat card, right? Because this stuff is in your head. Try to use that as an excuse. All right, question? All right, so the cost per, right here, what goes in is the coefficients of your constraint equation. So the coefficients of the 300 on your graphical, you'll just see them. It's 1 and 1. And then you see this 260. Don't do the 260. That's a formula. So where do you see the formulas? Can you guys see this up here? If you click on that cell, you'll see what I typed up here. In your book, they use sum product. I'm not a fan of using formulas unless I need to see them so I can clearly see what happened. So how do I get the total produced? Well, I'd have to take X, which is in cell C12, and Y, which is in cell D12, and then multiply them times the units, which is in C7 and D7. So it's the formula that you get. Wherever the X is, that's the cell number that you use for your X. And wherever the Y is, that's the cell number that you use for your Y. Does that make sense? All right, so it's your sliders. I even had this as sliders for one example for you. And so here, where I put X and Y, the book does not. I'm just highlighting for you that's the X and the Y. It's down at the bottom. And when I highlight the cell, what actually shows up is those cells that are involved. What do you think should go into the next cell to get this 18,250? How do I get that? I'm going to show you how I did it, all right? Lazy man's way. I got a formula in here. I hate typing and I hate writing. So I just copied and pasted that puppy, and then I put it into here. But it's not going to be exactly the same. You see how it highlighted some call things? I'm in the wrong row. So I highlighted C7 and D7. That should be C8. And that should be D8, not C7 and D7. So I changed those. But the C12 and D12, do I have to change those? Why not? That's the X and the Y, and they're in the same spot, right? So I just looked at algebraic equations and then put that thing in the way it's supposed to be. And then I have this total profit. And now I can change around things. And I added this. If you want to add something like this in your spreadsheets, it's nice. So this is called an if-then statement. Do you guys program in high school? Do you guys do anything like this? So this is called an if-then statement. So if they gave me a constraint that E7 is this number right here, and I don't want it to be bigger than 300. So I said, okay, if it is bigger than this number right here, then I'm going to write the words not in the feasible region. And if this is not, otherwise it's going to do thumbs up. So thumbs up means it is in the feasible region. And let's see what happens. Let's go out of the feasible region. Let's type something in here like 100 dust. It'll tell me it's not in the feasible region. So that's not a thing in the feasible region, right? So what I'd like you to do now is to pair up and play around with this spreadsheet that I have. What do you toy around with?
The unit
You're down here. So play around with this and see if you can figure out what the maximum solution is that meets the feasible region and gives me the maximum profit. So pair up, one person do the typing, the other person do the recording. So when I come around, one person should be like saying, try this, try this, try this, and the other person's typing in the Excel file. Right, try that. First, I'm going to come up here with Gavin. Gavin, who do you have a teammate? Okay, then hang out with calendars.
She's ready now.
So I'm struggling with good times, bad times. One is the greatest percussion. Playing around.
Strength as you can today.
Oh, production cost is not.